Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to be putting up curtain rods, and we're going to be using our Plumb line and Cross laser. That's going to help us a lot. Check the video description. I have a whole video on how this works. But basically, we have to set it up high enough so it can draw a line where we want it on the wall. Now, keep in mind when you're hanging it that the pole itself might need to go higher or lower in order for the curtain to sit just right. So you're going to want to hold the curtain up and get an idea where it goes. You'll have 3 brackets for the most part going into the wall, and you want one in the center so the blinds close into it, and the other 2 on the far ends so they're not getting snagged by the curtains. Now, something really important to note is when they frame a window, you'll have the studs going around the window to case it in, but then usually you're going to have a gap of about 16 inches until you get to the next studs. Now, most rods will go past the windows, so it's a little difficult. So we found the height that we wanted, and we basically wanted to go 23 inches down, and that was from a 9-foot ceiling. And again, we're going to want to hold that bar up to see how high the curtain needs to be, and keep in mind that the hardware might be higher or lower than where we would be putting the bar itself. If you can, use a stud finder, and hopefully you can hit a stud when you're drilling into the wall. For the weight of the curtains, it's really nice just to go into a stud. In the middle, we were able to do that, so we went ahead and put a screw in, and notice how the bracket sits higher than where the screw went in. For the other ones, we took a drill bit and drilled into the drywall, and as you can see, we're not hitting a stud, so what we're going to use is these drywall expansion screws that came with the kit. So you want the hole to be just slightly smaller so that when you put these in, you have to press them in or slightly hammer them in without breaking the drywall, so it has a nice snug fit. So now with that in place, we can put our screw in, and we want to pass through the bracket first. And as we screw this in, it will expand, and that's how it will hold in the drywall. But drywall is not very strong, so if you can get it into a stud, that's even better. But as you can see, we have this somewhat drilled in, and as it drills in, again, it expands and keeps it nice and tight, but you don't want to put it in all the way, because now we're going to flip this bracket, and notice how it swivels upwards, and it has another place for us to put a second screw. And so that's why the line that we drew, we have to compensate for how much higher the bar is going to be once we put the rod in. Okay, so what we did is we marked the second hole, and we started over again, put in another drywall expansion screw, and now when we hang our rod, it sits perfectly where it's cradled inside, and it has a little set screw here on the back to make sure that the rod doesn't slide around. And now you can see that the curtains are perfectly off of the floor at the right height. It looks good going all the way across. It's nice and level, and the curtains close in on each other. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Check the video description. I have a whole playlist of other videos that are similar to this. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks, guys.